I lost my brother to suicide when I was just 18 years old, literally 3 weeks after my 18th birthday, and he was 21. And I remember going to sleep one night and Conor asking me if I wanted to go for a pint, and I was too tired, and unfortunately woke up to the devastating news that Conor had taken his own life and done what he'd done. And, you know, from that moment forward, my life shattered into a million pieces. And not just mine, but watching your parents, watching your family, watching their lives fall apart as well was the most heartbreaking, difficult thing that I've ever gone through and will ever go through for sure. It's changed my life in ways that I can't describe, and, you know, often think back to that night and wish that maybe things could have gone a different way. And that's the horrible thing with losing someone to suicide, is it leaves so many unanswered questions. I remember going out for a run along the seafront and getting a mile in, and I had to turn around because I just couldn't hold back the tears. So I think I actually had about 6 months of no running. Eventually got back running, started to enjoy it a little bit more, got back into it, and it wasn't until 6 years after losing my brother to suicide that I decided that I wanted to do something for charity, something in memory of my brother. He was doing a computer science degree in the hope that he would one day get a job and live in New York City. And I've only ever got such fond memories of Conor telling me about New York. It was just one day I was searching on Google what would be the distance of a direct flight from Newcastle in the northeast of England, where we grew up, to New York City, and it came up with 3,332 miles. I then divided that by 26.2, which is a marathon, and it gave me 127.5 days. And I thought, well, I can't round down, so I rounded it up to 128. And I remember, to begin with, I was just asking friends who enjoyed running, or asking people that I knew who ran. I was like, how many marathons do you think you could run? And maybe they'd come back with 30, or they'd come back with 50. And I was just ticking over the idea in the back of my head. And then I just decided, you know what, stuff it, I'm just going to go for it. And I'd planned it so that I finished on what would have been Conor's 28th birthday. Day 81, run a marathon every day for 128 days. So when I first told my dad about the plan that I had to run 128 marathons, he actually didn't speak to me for about 5 days. And I think that's mainly because he was a runner himself, so he could appreciate the fact that 128 marathons is a ginormous effort, a huge amount of tax on the body, and a real risk. And I think he was genuinely concerned. My dad had actually ran the full marathon with me on the first day. So after the first day, I kind of felt okay. But it wasn't until I got to maybe the working week, or the Wednesday or the Thursday of that next week, day 6 or 7, where I was having to wake up at 4 a.m. I had work at 8:30. You know, I was in a lot of pain. And I remember waking up one particular morning, brushing my teeth in the mirror, with my hands on the sink, thinking, what on earth have you signed yourself up to do here? We are unfortunately 1.2 miles in. I'm having to walk. I think I might have to walk the whole thing this morning. I've got a right pain behind my knee. And it's pretty sharp pain. I can't actually run on it. I've got no pain walking, but running it's just not agreeing. So I think if I walk for the full morning, I'll get maybe 7 miles in. I'll have to find 19 miles elsewhere throughout the day. At the core of it, when I really did start to struggle, Conor was the motivating factor through it all. He was always in the back of my mind. Every step, every mile was for him. But also it was just sheer focus and sheer determination that if I can take another step, then I'm not going to stop. And every time I could take another step, and I did. I'm getting pain down the outside, so I've taped up the outside, and then just across the front on my patella for a bit of support. We'll see what happens. I really did sense the element of shame in my parents, you know, that generation, losing a child to suicide. I could really see the element of shame in their faces when that happened, and it shouldn't be there at all. And through the marathon challenge, and you know, within 4 weeks of running the marathon daily, that had turned to pride, and I could really see the lift off their shoulders, and they really bought into the challenge and were behind it every step of the way. And it was really something special for me, having watched them in the early stages of losing my brother, to now being able to see them, you know, this story had all about Conor had now turned into something that was quite amazing.
Aisle 1.
People would come up to them and talk about the marathon challenge and talk about how amazing it was and talk about Conor. And it was the first time since losing my brother that they've probably gone out into public and had a natural conversation about Conor, or been able to talk about him.
Go on, Lewis. Go on. Go on, Lewis.
The 128 marathons allowed us to talk, gave us space to talk. It really did have a domino effect of, you know, opening up and me doing my daily videos on social media and just talking openly about my experience with suicide. And I think that domino effect just cascaded through thousands and thousands of people that watched and tuned into my videos and bought into the story. And I really do believe that it not just changed my life, not just changed my parents, but there's hundreds and thousands of people out there that had been impacted positively as well. It was a Friday afternoon and I was working from home, and I got a message on Instagram off someone who follows me and said, "I've seen this competition, not sure if you've seen it, but I think you should enter it." And it was the Abbott World Marathon Majors World Tour competition. So I remember I texted my fiance Jamie. I was like, "Oh, I've seen this competition, I've been sent it, I think I should enter. But how on earth am I going to pull together a video in the next 4 hours?" So Jamie came up with the idea of the pen and paper.
You look straight at the camera. I'm going to read it so you know when to flip it.
I can't see where the pages are.
Oh, I see. Sorry, ready? My name is Leodhais Macpherson.
She actually wrote down the whole thing. And if you haven't seen the video, I don't say any words. I just stand there, hold some pieces of card and drop each one by one.
Run the distance from Newcastle to New York City. Stop feeling. It's alright. We'll crop it. We'll cut the edit.
Where we actually went down to record that video was very close by to where we have a memorial bench for my brother. So it's a really special place. So sharing that on social media, like I say, takes a lot of might. And you know, even when the top 10 got announced and I was lucky enough to be in the top 10, again watching everyone else's videos and everyone else's video entries, I still had no idea. Then got to the top 3, and again, you know, it could have gone any way. I really didn't know whether or not I was going to be picked.
You've got Lewis, who is kind of just like has, you know, obviously done this 128 marathons. You know, he's
it's 128 marathons.
Yeah. That's
mad.
Yeah.
We had an online interview with Aubrey and Liz, and I'd set up a camera, you know, I was prepping myself. I was really quite nervous, and got to the end of the call, it finished, and I felt like I'd done quite a good job. I'd managed to just relax, come back down to earth, and then I get a phone call a little bit later to say, "Oh, the recording didn't quite work, we're gonna have to do it again."
We're about to call Lewis live and tell him that he is the winner.
Should we tell him he didn't make it and then...
Aubrey.
Okay, fine. No. Let's do it properly.
Yeah.
Set the camera up, got back downstairs, and that was when Liz had said,
"Lewis, what do you say 7 world majors over the next 2 years?"
How's that for a question?
Oh my God, I'm shaking. Are you being serious? Oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna...
Yeah?
Yes, definitely. On my days. Yes. I can't explain how much this means to me, honestly. I swear this is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and after what I've been through and everything that I've done over the last year, I honestly cannot thank you enough.
I don't think there was
Seriously.
anyone more deserving.
It was just pure raw emotion, and I think it was, you know, a bit of a real sense of pride and gratitude, and just so thankful that this opportunity had been given to me. I'd went straight up to my mum, and we'd sat on the dining table, and we just sat there crying. And it was a really special moment, because we'd been through a lot. Thinking about Conor, thinking about the past 6 years that we've had as a family, and just something good to come out of it is really amazing. And yeah, I'll never forget that moment for the rest of my life. That's one thing that I learned through the marathons, was that I never had 3 bad days in a row. And those were often physical challenges that I managed to get through, but into life now, I take that mantra through everything. And, you know, one bad day, you can always get through. And I think just keep going, see another day, and you never know what's around the corner in life.